and share the screen.
Here we go. Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays. Jason and Aaron with you. There's a smile on his face. I don't know why. He's been sad all day. We pushed off recording for 3 hours because he was so sad. He had to get himself together. Uh, Jason, what you don't understand is there's a really sensitive chemistry I try to find for the show where I got to be like, I can't be too high, but I want to be a little high. I want to not know exactly what I'm going to say, but I do want some control. So it's a real fine and man, I here we go.
The great joy of losing before Christmas is that I don't have to spend my entire Christmas with my family sweating my fantasy football teams.
That's rough.
It's the biggest present to my family this year was
Yeah.
missing out on doing the worst loss, which is the loss in the first round of the playoffs. There are 4 teams with no joy this Christmas, yet their families and those that they love will we have a present father, a present someone who's caring about, let's say, a Christmas Eve service rather than the games that are going on. So there is a little bit of joy this Christmas.
It's like you're finding balance. You're forced to find balance this way.
Forced to find balance is exactly right.
Yeah. I feel like Stone Cold Santa Claus. I just need like a fluffy white goatee. We'll see. This is chafing the nips a little bit. We'll see if I can make the whole show.
Hey, stand up a little bit. Show us a little bit more of what we're working with here.
Well, see, we keep the belly hidden if I don't go up higher than this. So
gotcha.
Let's. I do want to give a shout out to Lil Caden that made the Madden teams last week. He put all of our players onto Madden teams and then did a big simulation. And so I disagreed with some of the methodology, but man, I cannot disagree with the effort. I mean, that is some A plus. I very cool. Very
That's
cool.
Awesome.
I want him to go back and I want him to tweak that formula though till my team does better.
Who won the simulation?
Shane.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll have to have him write in. We'll see.
Right. Get some fan mail later in the show.
Other than that, you want to just jump right in?
Yeah. Was there games played this last weekend?
There were a few games. There were
we
lopsided
should probably break that. Probably should break that down then because there was the toilet bowl started with this.
Yeah, speaking of lopsided thrashings, par for this course, Ashton Circle, low score of the week. Everybody wants happiness, nobody wants pain, but you can't have a rainbow without a little rain, Jason. Well, the Cobras continue trying to catch the deluge in the paper cup, and my feckless team, these jokers just deserve to be relegated. And here's the worst part: I still believe in these guys. Their talent, anyway. I still adore this foundation, despite it just being a house of straw. Brandon comes through hard. Second highest score of the week.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall Saturday when stupid Ty Chandler goes for 21. Three times more than Jamar Chase gives me. Like, it's over at that point. And then Christian McCaffrey, who feels like always crushes me. Brandon got 6 touchdowns from the skill guys. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, you're just going to lose. Curtis Samuel had 2 touchdowns all year, and he drops 2. So, of course, I'm terribly disappointed. I still am, but especially disappointed when I started thinking, like, well, whoever wins now between Chad and Jeremy, they ought to, they're probably going to draft Caleb Williams, maybe Drake May, whatever. But Brandon with Trevor Lawrence, like, he doesn't need that quarterback. So, like, losing this game means just no Marvin Harrison for the Cobras. But then I watched the Jaguars game. I'm not so sure. Like, I was willing to give Trevor Lawrence the pass after the abomination of Urban Meyer. But the guys we think of them as elite, like, they're there by now. Like, especially after you bring in Kirk, you bring in Ridley. So I don't know. Maybe Brandon's in line for a big QB too, but.
Whoa!
I think you're
already working the psychology using the show for trying to get Marvin Harrison on your team. What it seems like to me. Hey,
he's going to get drafted by the Patriots, and they're not going to have a quarterback, and nobody's going to want him.
Oh, that's actually might be true. Actually, I've been working on some slides in my spare time after the loss. Would like to do a postseason draft special, looking back at the last 17 years of drafts of who has drafted well and for as far as keepers. And it might be a show I could do on my own that no one would watch but me. So just sad,
Fascinating.
Aaron. I'm just
I thought you were telling us you had this ready to go, and I was like, is this what happened? Oh my goodness.
no, it's been in the works for the last few weeks. I've been working on a PowerPoint of all of the drafts that I have access to.
Yeah, that'll be for special subscriber content there. That's for our platinum tier members.
Man, Aaron, just a tough week. McCaffrey, I kind of feel like the MVPs. I mean, we talked about it last week's show. The first week of the playoffs and the first week of the Turd Ferguson Bowl is the best week. Like those are your MVPs. The players that just perform the best used to be, different week. Used to be week now it's 15, 16,
14,
17.
15, 16.
Yeah. But those are your MVPs. I mean, those are the guys that you need to perform to be able to get to the semis, to get to the finals of the Turd Bowl. And Christian McCaffrey, just an awesome performance. It wasn't going to be hard to overcome. Congrats to Brandon, who will face Chad.
Here we go. Yeah, Chad defeats Jeremy 105-76. Kyron Williams just continues to get it done. What a pickup for the Rompers. It's all going according to plan for Chad. He's one step away from the #1 pick. He's got all those fours to round out his squad at next year's draft. Jeremy finally gets the Terry McLaurin game he's waiting for. It just took Sam Howell getting replaced by Jacoby Brissett.
Crazy.
McLaurin finally woke up. His wide receivers are scary, man. Mike Evans has, I think he has a touchdown in 10 of his last 14 games.
Wow.
Just every week, he's just points. Not this week, though. I mean, he scored, but not enough for the dude to abide.
No, that is absolutely true. So many of the backup quarterbacks either getting hurt or getting replaced this week in week 14. Rompers break 100 points. It's going to be quite a battle between Chad versus Brandon for the #1 pick. And good luck to you and Carr fighting for the 3 and 4 spot.
On to the main course.
Man, this is something right here. I mean,
this game.
I can't wait. Break it down, D2. My gosh.
This was like a Ravens Browns game where they just beat the hell out of each other and the final score is like 6-5.
Yes.
And the Vipers just so solid, so dominant all season, and then the wheels just fall off at the worst time. Derrick Henry, the Dallas defense just well below where they've been averaging. As you know, it all came down to Monday Night Football. Shane has these innate advantages versus Jay, and then we find out Hurts is sick. He's not traveling with the team. He's got diarrhea. Who knows what? Everything was breaking for Shane, and then the game went Jay's way though. Like Swift gets taken down at the 1, twice?
Yeah, twice in a row.
Yeah, and then Hurts gets the touchdown. It just didn't happen. Both these quarterbacks coveted fantasy starters under 30 points.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs making the strong case for RB1 in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Second half of the season has just been remarkable. Shane's got to feel real lucky advancing, knocking off the #1 seed with really a puny score.
Oh, an 8 seed with a 6-8 record gets into the playoffs, scores 84 points, is in the semifinals. I'm telling you, I think it's the start of wanting either the 1 or the 1 and 2 seed to get a bye and having 6 playoff teams for the future of the league. I don't know. It just seems like Jay is. So I saw a tweet this week from Ryan McDowell that said Derrick Henry is the first player in NFL history to have at least 20 touches in a game and produce less than 15 yards from scrimmage. I mean,
that is apocalyptic. 16 rushes for 9 yards, and it's Derrick Henry. I mean, it's not one of us. This is like.
That's a great way to say that. I mean, I thought all night that Hurts was going to throw a long touchdown pass to Devontae Adams or AJ Brown, and the game would just be over. Yeah. I don't know. I'm so glad we don't have a live interview here with Jay because, man, I just such a sad Christmas for Jay. Yeah. The #1 seed to go out like this, 84 points. Wow. It's just best of luck to 6-8 Shane. He did it in the playoffs. We'll
Yeah.
see if he can keep going. But there's another game that made me even more sad.
Here we go.
So break it down.
True John defeats Jason 118-92. Brock Purdy just continuing to be a great play. Saquon Barkley seems to be up and down. He's like great one week and then just a disaster the next, rinse, repeat. So I guess he's going to be big next week in the next round. It doesn't matter when the rest of your guys, like I see 9 touchdowns here. 9 touchdowns. Nine's a big number. You got good play out of your makeshift quarterback. Rashee Rice was a great play, but just devastating when he outscores Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson combined. Do you have like a state of the Karate Kids address you'd like to make, or are you going to save that for the end of the year program?
No, I still like my team and I like my 6 keepers. Diggs has not been great. Obviously, a down year for Jefferson with a great start, missing 10 games and coming back and not being able to have much. To play against someone with the number 1 and number 2 wide receiver of the week was just absolutely just soul crushing. I was so excited for Nick Mullins to be able to throw for 300 yards, but both of his touchdowns to my opponent, who subbed out Olave at the right time. Olave getting scratched. A great coaching move by John. But John has taken a team and just thrown a bunch of assets together, and he looks really good. I love
kind of
Rice.
thundery.
Yeah, that's right. I love Rice. I love Pacheco. I love Keaton Mitchell. Not only do I think I have 6 good keepers, I think I have 6 really good potential keepers, 3 more, and on top of my 6 keepers. I said that wrong, but I felt so bad for Keaton Mitchell. I thought in the second quarter, like, I've got a keeper here. This guy's going to be the future running back for the Baltimore Ravens. And then
he's
blows out his knee, it looks like. I mean, I was so sad. And then Kenneth Walker looked great on Monday night. I didn't start him because I thought I needed the boom play of Keaton Mitchell to be able to keep up with Brock Purdy. I wouldn't have won even if I would have been able to sub in Christian McCaffrey for Keaton Mitchell. John had a great game. Congratulations to John Mendenhall. But I still like my team. But I tell you what, I mean, I may be getting old. Diggs and Kelsey may be on the bottom side of their career. I might end up having to keep Pacheco or Rice rather than Diggs. I don't know.
Kelsey's starting to look old.
He is starting to look old, and if he ends up marrying that girl, he may just retire. So
that's the good life.
I mean, it was a tough week. I'm so sad to be out of the playoffs. It's just the worst week to lose. So let's get to the next game just to not keep bumming me out. So and it was a doozy because we have a favorite. So there's some coaching moves that need to be discussed on the right side of the screen there with the galloping ghost. Hit it, Aaron.
Josh defeats False John 137-105. Dr. Phantasm with the highest score of the week knocks off the feisty Pharisees on the back of Jared Goff's 57 points. I don't know what to make of the Bronco defense. They're just up and down. Weiss is too solid. He's just going to have to beat himself, which he's good at. Pharisees end their season with more questions than answers. Who can they trust? Bijan with negative points in the first round of the playoffs is not what John was thinking when he took him number 1 overall. I don't think you can trust any Falcon as long as Arthur Smith's in charge and Ritter's the quarterback. Maybe with either. You got to change both. What do you do with Bijan? What do you do here?
You get rid of your GM, your coach, and your quarterback. Just a full fire sale. I mean, just get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel for False John here. I mean, he's not going to watch this, but if he happens to, I mean, the guy was doing his best to get into the toilet bowl. If he would have been a toilet bowl competitor,
he'd be advanced.
He would have advanced, and he would have had a top 2 pick. Instead, I'm hoping you can have a chance to advance, and he, although had a score higher than 3 the team's seen so far, he beat me and the number 1 seed and the number 8 seed, but because he's the 7 seed, he loses to the Ghost and is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't know how the picks work, but I mean, I think he'll probably have either pick 5 or 6 heading in.
I've got that. Yeah, we can just talk about that now if you want. John, Pharisees John picking 5, Logan 6, you 7, and Jay 8.
Yeah, and
those are the set draft picks right now.
I gave up my first round draft pick to get Justin Jefferson, so my first pick will be 18. And then I gave up my 3rd round draft pick too. So, man, I'm already sad. What a sad off season already. If anybody's interested in some of my awesome players that they want to give up draft picks for, let me know. But I will say this, looking at those scores, we did not mention John's 38 performance from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, I also in the offseason may try to give some rules. I don't want the defenses to be, I almost like feel like a defense should never be allowed to score more than 20 points, something to not allow a team to get that many points from a defense.
Yeah, but I mean, this is I get what you're saying, but how is this any different than a dominant receiver or quarterback performance? You got a shutout, you got 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, and 6 sacks, 4 turnovers and 6 sacks in a shutout.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
that
it's
should be
great,
worth 38 points.
but I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that Jay can get 1 point from Dallas. Miami can get 38 points during 1 week, a 37-point difference when it mainly depends on who you're playing, with Zach Wilson going down and Trevor Siemian
Yeah.
not being able to advance the ball for the Jets. I do think that Debo is a great player.
Oh yeah.
But I got it. I feel like we've not scratched the surface here. The Ghost sat Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill, scored the
Yeah.
most points in the league to advance. I think he's the favorite. My goodness, his depth to be able to do that is remarkable, but I think it's his courage. I think he's the owner of the week. To have the courage to sit Tua and to be able to just trust what you've got. And what he's called league winner, Rachaad White, you did a thing on the prom last week, and I got to say, Josh had maybe the night of the year when he went to prom with Rachel. So congrats to Josh on a win, a spot in the semifinals. It's remarkable. This was a masterful coaching performance and took a lot of courage, and I absolutely hate it all and want to end the show right now and never post this.
Well, I'm not supposed to talk about this, but you got to hear this. So Josh is so confident in the Ghost that he's already contracted an AV team to make a championship retrospective about the season. You know, like there's a precedent for this. Like when the Patriots win the Super Bowl, like immediately after the game, you can order the video. So like they got to have that ready like 2 weeks in advance. So so it's so cool. He's gonna have clips and highlights each week of his players and the opponents and with the scores. And then I gave him the rights to use our clips from this show. So it's going to have like us talking about the games and then the highlights. And then, it'll be like me denigrating Rachaad White and then him scoring touchdown. And then this is the best part. This is still in negotiations, but he's trying to get it narrated by David Schwimmer or maybe Liev Schreiber. But yeah, it could be really awesome, but he's got to win a couple more games.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not surprised he's already done this with the confidence that he has after those coaching moves. Can't wait to watch it. And congrats. Let's keep going to see what happened in this game with the defending champs and Patrick Mahomes falling to Mahoney. Break it down, A2.
Yeah, this was our game of the week. Laporta showed up. My goodness, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he did.
Somehow Mahomes almost triples Dak, and Chris still skates away to a win. The Chris's Amari Cooper trade seems to really be working out. Less so the Calvin Ridley, but I don't know if the bigger story is Chris's Raiders beating the Chargers so badly they cost Brandon Staley his job, or James Cook going over 200 yards and scoring twice. Jeff was right in it too. Monday Night Football. Jeff's got DK Metcalf. He's so close. He's like a touchdown away from ending Chris's season. And here comes freaking Drew Lock. Just pass after pass after pass to Metcalf. He hits him on that one slant where Metcalf like kind of falls down. The pass was late. Otherwise, he's gone. And Jeff's in the semis. But so close. Season's over at the defending champs.
Oh, I mean, look at that Eckler stat line: 5 rushes for 9 yards. That Raiders game on Thursday night just had to do in the Jeff. I couldn't believe that the Raiders have 30 points for a non-shutout to be able to do that. But you're right. Look at that the James Cook stat line is incredible.
It's remarkable. Yeah.
It would have been great to be able to have this, to be able to say, how do you think Chris will do when Dak Prescott and Brandon Cooks combine for 14.1 points? I mean,
right?
Every single time. 100 times out of 100, you're going to pick Jeff. with no
Yeah.
injuries to be able to take care of it. If you say, let's say Laporta gets 3 touchdowns and he has no injuries, Mahomes plays the whole game against New England, how's he going to do? I
Yeah.
mean, it's
It's remarkable.
an
Yeah.
amazing result. Again, defense plays a huge role in this game as well. But man, I just
Yeah.
Jeff, I know that the Patriots are a bad team, but Jeff, like the Chiefs, have just seemed a little bit off all year. Jeff,
Yeah. He
and
goes as Mahomes goes.
yeah, yeah,
And this, Jeff was he's a Justin Tucker guy, and Chris snatched him away at the draft this year, and I think that might sting a little bit for Jeff,
Hmm.
like being done in by a guy I think he might consider one of his guys. Chad might argue with that. Chad probably thinks he's his guy too.
Yeah,
They do both love him.
Jeff Logan kept a defense last year, did not play that defense in the championship game. He might keep a kicker, as we talked about last week. That
Yeah,
Aubrey is
Aubrey
special.
he looks big time. He
He
does look like
looks-
if you're gonna keep a kicker, he's probably the guy to keep.
Yeah, I would agree
Yeah,
with that. So,
yeah,
sorry that Jeff sits at home and has to, hang out with his family on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve this year. It's disappointing.
yeah.
So, in the pick'em contest,
Woo!
pretty huge.
Kicking ass on the wild side. Come on.
And it feels somehow I'm now 10 games behind you as I've tried to pick up a game here or there. It's worked the opposite way. Just another great reminder that the Church of the Nazarene does not appreciate online gaming or gambling. So I'm super glad because I'm almost, you can see that everyone is over here over 50%, but I'm not that much if I just would flip a coin, that much better than where I could be. You, therefore, at 64% winning percentage.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. 5-game lead. So congrats to you. We have a breakdown of the best ball week. This was week 14 in the best ball. You can see the results there. We need Josh to help us out to figure out what's going on because we have the results here. Oh, well, the best ball weekly winner was Smitty with quarterback Derek Carr leading the way, but James Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Check
Singletary,
down car.
just check down Carr is right. 23 of 28 for 218 yards. But I don't know what happened here because what is on the website with who's playing whom is not what I think should happen. So it looks to me like Smitty and the Hellhounds are the number 1 and number 2 seeds and will be playing Don't Call Me Colin, which is Shane and Team Jason. But when you go to the website, they have this matchup. They have, so here's the breakdown here as far as, from what I remember what Josh said, it was the winner of each division plus the top overall point scorers regardless of division after that, which would be Smitty and Hellhounds versus Don't Call Me Colin and Team Jason. Somehow, Josh, go ahead.
I just thought I just figured it out, but
Okay, tell me.
well, I wonder if I have more points than Colin, and so victory points don't matter.
I think it's the victory points that is what our friend Josh has, because somehow the website lists this as the matchups. They have Team Jason versus, now we can't see that because of the where our faces are. I'm going to move it on the screen. I don't think it records that though. They have Hellhounds versus Team Jason, and the second one they have Smitty versus the Ghosts.
So Josh's own system seems to be screwing Shane out of a spot. That seems.
I think it should be Smitty or a team versus Don't Call Me Colin, and then you've got Team Jason versus the Hellhounds. That's how I think it should go. I don't know what the answer is. It seems like if we're going by what Josh has put on the message board, which is the top 2 teams from each division versus the next 2 most teams with the most victory points, it should be and I don't know who wins a tiebreaker between Hellhounds and Smitty, but I think that Don't Call Me Colin should be in there rather than Josh. But Josh somehow has found a way to place himself into the playoffs, which we're not surprised about.
Very smart.
But he's gonna have to help us figure this out because right now this is what the preview says on the website.
Yeah,
I took a screenshots of the entire roster so people could see what quarterbacks each team had. The Ghosts have Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff, so he's got just Goff. Smitty has Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Kenny Pickett, Aaron Rodgers, and Tua Tagovailoa, which is great. 2 quarterbacks playing there. And then Desmond Ridder and Mahomes and Watson for Team Jason. The Hellhounds are showing out Dak Prescott and Jordan Love, which is actually two pretty good quarterbacks. And then Colin has Colt McCoy and Jalen Hurts. So along with Matt Stafford. So that's actually
oh, that's not bad.
not bad at all with Nick Chubb there as well. So I'm not sure what to do here. Hopefully we'll get this figured out, maybe on the message board or on the text thread to be able to know what's happening in this what's happening for the playoffs. I believe it's just a 2-week playoff. Don't know who wins the tiebreakers, but I don't think that Josh is in his own playoffs due to his victory points. We'll see how he, as the commissioner of this league, figures that out. It's for almost $5 a team, so Josh needs to have that victory. So I can see how he would find a way to get himself in there. So saddest week of the year, the week that you're not playing in a game, playing for third and fourth place. But we need to preview the week, doing the best we can as hosts limping into the in the middle of the postseason. The Turd Ferguson Toilet Bowl games. We have this game for 3 versus 4. Who do you like?
Look, I like Geno or Browning better than Kyler or Sam Howell versus the Jets. My running backs are a horror show, but so are Jeremy's. I think he wins at wide receiver, probably tight end. Does not look good for me as I'm breaking it down. I'm planning to win the game, but my official pick, I'm going to go with Coach Carr. I think we're just my team feels like in Fate of the Furious, and Dominic Toretto is in this car race in Cuba, and his car is just like falling apart. There's pieces all over the streets of Cuba, and finally, just this hunk of junk just slides across the finish line. Like, I feel like that's my team. But we're gonna beat Jeremy, but not as my pick.
I'm gonna pick Action Circle to win. My guess is this is the week that it all comes together. The final
Yes.
when it's for the third or fourth pick. This is the week that you just
when it matters least, we shine.
Everything comes through when it matters the least, and Aaron takes the win. So I'll take A2 and have Jeremy, who was so excited as well to throw the whole season to be able to have the number one pick. He's stuck with the third or fourth. So now we've got the bid for the number one pick, the Rompers versus Brandon.
Yeah, who's going to be in pole position in that driver's seat at the draft? Kyron Williams versus Christian McCaffrey is a heavyweight running back title fight. Yeah. Amazingly, just seems like a wash. I don't know what to do with that. I can't decide if having all these Rams for Chad on a short week is good or bad. I don't like the short week, but if we're talking about Sean McVay versus Dennis Allen, then that seems like a big edge for McVay to me. I kind of expect Brandon to swap out Curtis Samuel here. The Jets corners are no joke. Yeah. They go 3 deep, ferocious. I don't know if he goes with Jason Smith and Jigba or what. I think Chad gets it done unless Brandon just gets some Taysom Hill magic. But I think Chad's depth wins out here.
Okay, great. I'm going with Brandon. I think that Brandon has been one of the better teams of the year. He had the second most points in the league last week. The guy has a great team, and Christian McCaffrey on Monday night's going to get it done. I also don't trust the Thursday games, although Aiden McConnell's team scored 63 points last week, and the Raiders team scored 30. So maybe my fear of Thursday night games shouldn't have come into play there. But I just think that those teams are usually not ready to play, and they usually don't have a lot of points scored in the first quarter. Although Aiden McConnell was up 21-0 in the first quarter last week. So what do I know?
Does Stafford and Cup even need to practice together?
Yeah, I don't know. What do I know? My team's not playing this week. We're not previewing a game for the Karate Kid, and we are previewing a game for the 2 semis. And we have this is wrong. Sorry about this. This is not the right setup because teams are not in the playoffs.
Outrage.
I'm going to let you break down this game. Find the right game to put in here. Poor effort from an eliminated team. So would you break down Brock Purdy versus Dak Prescott for us?
Yeah. Brock's got a really tough matchup versus the Ravens. I don't love the Dolphins for Dak, but it's way better than having to face the Ravens. As great as James Cook has been, Jacobs has been a letdown. Across the field, I like two guys that John's going to leave on his bench better than anybody Chris is going to throw out at RB2. Um, I think the wide receivers are going to disappoint both guys. I
You still there? Oh, you cut out. Just a second, team. Oh man, this is a disaster. Well, I'm gonna hope that Aaron comes back. I'm recording on my end. He's frozen for me. This is going just like my season has gone, which was great at the beginning, but kind of fell apart at the end. I am putting together the slideshow right now and adding Josh versus Shane for the second semis. Uh, what I'll probably do is say goodbye right now and hopefully patch in our friend Aaron. And once we get that figured out, give him a chance to. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. This is going to go great. We are actually
what a
here.
show.
Oh my gosh, what a joke of a show. This is what you get. This is what you get, Aaron, when if you'll take yourself off of stop screen, you can continue the breakdown of Hellhounds versus Mahoney. Can you hear me, Aaron?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I can't
What
see you
happened?
anymore. I can't see you anymore.
Oh,
You have stopped.
what's
Oh, there you
happening
are.
here?
I don't know. You sound, I'm good on my end. We lost you there for a second, but you're back to finish the preview of uh what we had for the Hellhounds versus Chris. So uh can you see that now? Are you there?
I hear you. I can
Okay.
see you. I don't see the share screen. Oh, there's the share screen.
Okay, here we are. We got
Oh yeah, okay.
so Hellhounds versus Chris. You were talking about who you liked, and then we'll go to the
Yeah.
last game before we pause this terrible production of a show. Uh,
Yeah.
as good as it's been, our seasons fell apart, and so did the show. But so you were talking about wide receivers, I think, when you cut out.
Okay, so I think the wide receivers are going to disappoint on both sides. I guess I prefer John. Chris keeps proving me wrong all season, but this season's been all about me being wrong. So let's keep it going. I'm going to keep choosing against Chris, picking John. Hellhounds for the win.
Yeah, I think uh I've been thinking a lot about this one, and John looks like the team to beat. Mostert with 20 touchdowns this season is just incredible.
Insane. Insane.
Waddle looked amazing without Tyreek out there.
Mhm.
Um, and then you've got the Jets playing potentially Jacoby Brissett. Um, I don't know.
Or Sam Howell.
I don't know. They're the number one points against defense.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders have been, but you know what? Uh, the Mendenhall's won a lot. He has multiple championships. Um, Chris
Mhm.
has been part of this league for 26 or 27 years and never won. He's one of the
Yeah.
original few.
Yeah.
And
OG.
I'm just gonna say that this somehow Mahoney gets into the final. So I'm gonna take a Dak Prescott rebound week in Miami, James Cook to keep cooking, and
Mhm.
uh, somehow I'm going to pick Mahoney to beat the Hellhounds and to make it into the final two. So that'll be fun. I think you may be frozen as well. Nope, you're back. Would you break down the
Yeah.
Goats versus the Sox in the second semifinal?
But I think Josh Allen is a clear advantage over both Goff and Tua. Running back seems like a wash. Weiss took Rashad White to prom, and he did put out. I think that keeps up this week at the prom after party. I think Etienne's going to do well too. Oh, he's got David Montgomery in there. Now that this, I was rooting for this to happen because I would love it if Gibbs and Montgomery were playing against each other. That's really fun. But man, Jameer Gibbs, I don't want to play against him right now. This is a great chess match. AJ Brown's phenomenal, but he has not had a huge game in like 2 months. Nobody can match the firepower of Weiss's wide receivers. Um, if Tyreek's still kind of gimpy, ooh, Amon Ra is right there, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Shane's good, but it's Josh going to beat him. I'm predicting a Ghost Hellhounds final.
Okay, I'll take the other side of that. I'll take an 8 seed getting to the final game versus Mahoney, a team that hasn't won in 26 years. It's the most fun storyline. Uh,
Yeah.
although, Josh losing in the final is awesome too. But this,
Former roommates going head to head. You don't want to see
yeah,
Chris and Josh?
that'd be pretty great. And Chris
Yeah.
Evans, if Chris wins, beating the favorite would be, pretty
Yeah.
incredible. I don't know. I just sort of feel like if Chris were to win, it would be, you'd have a just like going to a high school basketball game. We'd have to carry Chris out on our shoulders if
Oh
Chris.
yeah, he's cutting the net down for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an intriguing matchup, but I'm gonna take Shane Cowherd. Uh, Shane knows how to peak at the right time. Josh is, although he is a multiple championship winner, uh, just seems like the disappointment has come at the wrong time for him. So I'll take Shane at 6-8 and the 8 seed to make the final, just because that's how dumb fantasy football is. Now, if I would be playing this week and I would be in a more chipper mood, of course I would take Josh. But as someone who again didn't preview a game for the Karate Kid this week, I'll take the 8 seed to beat the favorite and somehow manage to get into the final. Against, again, my pick will be Chris Lahan versus Shane Coward, and you're picking John Mendenhall versus Josh Weiss for the
Yeah.
final.
Let's get it on.
So for me, I can't wait until we get together with Jeff. Again, this picture that we've made fun of all year with Jeff, who's the defending champion, he should be looking the happiest, looking the most sad.
Yeah.
Maybe it was him looking making a prophecy
Yeah.
for the year to come.
Crystal ball. He was looking into the future. He knew
He
he
saw.
knew he knew the Eckler train was going to derail.
Oh, and
Yeah.
boy, did it. So, hey, thanks for putting up with this show. Worst production of the year, worst preparation of the
It's
year,
rough.
worst week of the year. And I'm guessing no one likes even this planning at all. So, thanks, Aaron, for your upbeat attitude and everything for the year. And I guess we have got a couple more shows to go, and the shows will just keep getting shorter. So,
Right.
Uh, but then once the season's over and I maybe have a month or so, we need to come back and do that draft show to like look at all the
Yeah.
all the drafts. That'll be when
Riveting.
I like super sad that there's no football anymore. That's when it's gonna be
Yeah. February.
turn
Yeah.
the page. Yeah.
Yeah.
February 11th, I believe, is the Super Bowl this year.
Mm.
And who do you like in the Super Bowl? Who's your NFC versus AFC team as we log out?
I mean, the Niners seem better than everybody else right now. Uh, I don't know in the AFC. I don't know. What a mess. What a mess.
AFC is a super mess. Yeah, the Niners look
Yeah.
like they're really good. So I mean, right now I would think Niners Ravens. But now you're distracted and needing to go, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man, I got to get out of here.
shut the game off. See ya, everybody. What a terrible week.